Hello and welcome to MS Tube Television. I'm Melissa Schenk, and with me today I have a very special guest, Marian deWever. Thank you so much for coming today.
You are very welcome.
Okay, so what I want to talk to you about, everyone knows I love passionate people, at least passionate people that are passionate about their jobs.
Right.
And I met you, about 3 or 4 years ago?
Yes.
Maybe even 5 years ago.
Maybe even that long.
I don't know. We've known each other for a while. We first met at the Chamber of Commerce Business Excellence Awards.
That's correct. I was on the committee and you were doing the video production.
Exactly. And so when I met Marian, I got to know a little bit about what she does, and you are an amazing real estate agent because you care. I don't know anyone that cares as much as you do.
Thank you.
So what made you want to, you've been doing real estate for a couple years now, right?
Yes, in fact, I have been doing this job for 20 years now.
Okay, I wasn't trying a couple years.
Yeah, 20. So I think I started in grade 4.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, what made you get into the industry?
Well, I had done a number of different jobs, mostly in the hospitality industry. I had worked in the hotel industry, I'd worked for Via Rail and mostly in Toronto. And then my husband and I moved back to Stratford and found out that you could buy a house here for not a whole lot of money, and so we did. And then one thing sort of led to another. We had had a couple of real estate experiences that were kind of interesting, and I always thought to myself, wow, that was kind of not the way that I would have done that if I was the realtor. And so I saw an opportunity to do some really different customer service than what I had experienced when I had bought and sold my first couple of houses.
And I think that's why I gravitated so much towards Marian, because she does, you do things differently. Like, for instance, you do something really cool called home staging. I didn't really know much about that until you had mentioned it to me.
Home staging has become crazy important in real estate because I think people are spending a lot of time watching home and garden television, and so it's really raised the level of what buyers' expectations are. So years ago, if we had a house that had rosy pink walls and brown carpet, we would just say, well, leave it because you don't want to pick something that the buyer won't like. And nowadays it's exactly the opposite. Not only should you pick something, you have to pick something that the buyer's going to walk into and like right away.
So is that because, do you think many people can't envision themselves in that home? So if their color's not quite right or the furniture's not quite right, it doesn't matter because you're going to make it your own and you're going to make it your home. But do you find that if they can place themselves there, less clutter, it just looks sort of like, it's a staged home.
Absolutely.
Then it's more sellable.
It is, absolutely, because I think we're very visual people. When we're looking to buy a house, we're not just buying what we think we want, we're buying a lifestyle. And so when you walk into a house that feels the way you want it to feel, even if you don't live that way, even if your house has never been that clean and tidy, you feel like you want to live there. So I think that's one reason. The other reason is that we're too busy. We are way too busy to take on the painting and the carpeting and those types of things. So if the house needs those things, we want to be compensated and want to pay less for the house. That's why people will pay more money for a house that's been well staged. Move-in ready is what everybody wants.
Excellent. So what's the most exciting thing that you've come across in your experience, do you think, in your years of doing this?
In the home, as far as home staging goes?
Yeah.
I had an opportunity last year to work on a house that was the parsonage of a church. So if you know anything about church parsonages, they're the part of the church that nobody pays any money to. So this house had been sitting with flowered wallpaper and empty for years and years and years. So we suggested to the congregation that they actually rent an entire house full of furniture, which they did. And you know what? It turned out amazing. It went from basically a box of walls with hardwood floors and nothing in it, no personality. We rented furniture for every room in the house, and it looked spectacular. That was fun.
That is interesting. See, that's what I love about this. It's every house is different, just like every person is different, every family has different needs, and you also do some really cool things. That you have a colleague that you work with.
Yep, my colleague Karen Gavel.
And they have started something very cool on YouTube, and you've got your own little show.
Yes.
I love it.
We started this little thing called Marian Productions because we're trying to really understand the benefits of social networking and just also trying to do something a little bit different to stand out, because there are lots of pictures of lots of houses on the internet and we needed to do something different. So we started, rather than just shooting a bunch of still shots and stitching it together with music, we did sort of a guided tour where we walked through the house. We thought it was a way for us to showcase the house, show a little bit of our personalities, and have a little bit of fun. Avant-garde location and even greater value.
For more information or to have us do a video at your house, call or email us.
Until you click again, I'm Karen.
Okay.
So we are not Academy Award winning actresses. In fact, our blooper reel is probably longer than our
I
actual
think it's fun.
reel of
It's
videos.
a lot of fun.
And we've had a lot of fun with that.
And we'll put that on the screen for you now so that you can actually check out the Marian Productions, because they're dynamite. And the more that you do, the more that I laugh. You two are just hysterical. But better yet, I mean, you give a great tour of homes.
Yes. Oh,
and I
for
love
sure.
that.
Yeah.
It's because pictures are so stagnant and so two-dimensional, but that's why we do this, why I love video, and why I want to share with you the people that wow me, because you know what? There's not enough wow in this world.
We can always have more wow.
I think so. I think we can, and more wow people, and people that love their jobs, and that really will do the job for you. And so that's why I wanted to introduce you to Marian today. And if people want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Oh, that's easy. You can find us, call us old-fashioned on the phone at Coldwell Banker, which is 519-273-4400. You can also find us online at coldwellbanker.ca.
Perfect. Marian deWever, give her a call. You won't regret it. I promise you. Thanks, Marian.
You are very welcome.